That's yes, sweetheart. Any questions from the brothers and sisters here in the masjid, inshallah? Tfaddal.
When you're referring to what's called, was there a specific ayah that was mentioned in the book?
Question says, was there a specific ayah mentioned in the book? Naam, in Surah Al-Baqarah. If you wish a specific number? Says here, Baqarah 256. 256.
256.
After Ayatul Kursi. طيب. The second ayah, Surah Al-Luqman, verse 22. Right? Any other questions? تفضل. قرب ما يستسمع. إلا هناك أحاديث واردة في هذا بغض النظر عن صحتها وعن ثبوتها، لكن قد ورد من أهل العلم من حسنه وأثبته، ومنهم دون ذلك. هذا نقول باختصار، من أهل العلم من مشى حاله وحسنه، لكن يبقى النظر في معناه. هل يختلف في هذا الشيء أفضل ما قلت أنا والنبيون قبلي؟ طبعا، لكن من حيث الصناعة الحديثية فهذا محل اجتهاد بين أهل العلم. هذا نقول طبعا باختصار، لا نحب نشوش نستأثر بالوقت دون الناس الجماعة. هذا نقول بتلخيص، والله أعلم.
Okay.
Next question. Some questions are exclusive, Sheikh. I'm sure you can understand that, Sheikh. Exclusive, some things are exclusive. Right, Sheikh? You said about the military, right?
Yeah, something.
The private is not like the major. Major is not like the colonel. It's exclusive things. He has 3 stars, he got 5. Right, Sheikh? You can't, it doesn't work like that.
I got it.
Fadl, Sheikh. Right or wrong?
Yeah. I got it for you. I don't know how to, I'm going to do the best I can.
Bismillah. That's all Allah wants you to do.
Okay. Now, you know, like some of our brothers and sisters, maybe, I know some people that are dark, you know. This behavior of like going to the negative all the time. And you positive, your spirit is high, you be with them, you go down, right away. You know, what if people are always going to the dark?
Clear. Well, the question is regarding people that are always dark, people that are always blue and gloomy, people that are pessimistic, always negative, people that are defeatists, and the worst is going to happen, so on and so forth. What advice could you give regarding this? I would say, advise these people, but from a distance. Advise them from a distance. Try to keep in your inner circle, your entourage. Keep your team, your company, your platoon. People that bid'Allah ta'ala look for the good. Search for the good. Ask Allah for the good. And when something happens that's not that good, they roll with the punch and not into the punch. And look forward and keep moving. And that's the true spirit of the true believer. Is that no matter whatever happens, whatever takes place, one way or another, it's some type of good in it. If it's something that's a misfortune, then let us be patient. Let us make tawbah Let us beg that Allah Azza wa Jal will make it a means of our levels being raised, our sins being forgiven. Some of the people of knowledge, they say, from the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decreeing sickness and calamity upon people, is that these things nullify sins and erase sins that Tawbah can't get rid of. You may say, how is this? What sin Tawbah can't erase? They say the Tawbah that's not done 101% sincerely. A person makes Tawbah, he's trying, but it's still a little bit of love and fondness for it. It's still a bit of connection to the sin. It's still a bit of lack of honesty with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the sickness, the misfortune comes without your choice. And it may what? Knock out, get rid of it. Everybody understand this? So if something of misfortune happens, alhamdulillah. And if something of a blessing happens, then we also say alhamdulillah. Let us thank Allah for it. Let us use it. Let us utilize it. And let us be careful and not to get too happy too soon. Because it may be a test. It may be a punishment. Allah may be setting us up for something for our sins. So we take it in moderation. Those are the people that you need to keep around you in your inner circle. And you see someone that doesn't have this mindset, as the Prophet ﷺ said, advise them, but what? At a distance. Because you don't need that negativity around you. You're fighting your own self, your own nafs. You have your own jihad to make. This person comes as a defeatist. You don't need him. And obviously, as you know, anyone who's ever been in the military and been in actual combat, from the greatest thing that a soldier in an army can have is what? Morale.
Correct. Oh, you did. You're right.
High morale. A smaller, weaker, inferior force with strong morale can what?
Win.
A larger force that has what? Poor morale. Wallahu alam.
Thank you.
Alhamdulillah. Fadl.
And this is AK from Australia.
What city?
Australia.
Gotta put the city, inshallah.
New Jersey, Seattle. Sorry. Initials NJ from Seattle, Washington. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. What are some steps one can take to become more serious about their worship and getting closer to Allah?
Question says, what are some of the mistakes that someone can become about being more serious about their worship and getting close to Allah? Good company. Good company. Morale. Being around other believers that are serious, that are focused, and that are concentrating upon ibadah and improving themselves. Who you hang around, who you're with. You may be with someone that's righteous. You may not be on their level of righteousness, but you may be too shy to do bad things in front of them. You may be too embarrassed. So you force yourself to do acts of righteousness and piety. And eventually you say, wow, that wasn't too bad. That actually felt kind of good. That actually was easy to be in the masjid. I prayed all 5 salat in the masjid today. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that hard. And then you get a taste of it. And then I tell you the second day, a third day, a fourth day, and next thing you know, it becomes a standard. And you feel like a fish outside of water if you don't pray all 5 in the masjid. Wahakadha. Fasting, sadaqah, hijab, beard, thobe, sunnah, and the list goes on. So there are many, many ways. We've spoken this many times. I would say, to keep things brief right now, is the company that you keep. Who the people that you influence, who are those who influence you. Wallahu alam. Next question says, Assalamu alaikum. Is just saying talaq a means in divorcing your wife and through a text and out of anger? Question has 3 main pieces. The first is pronouncing talaq. And by the sheer pronouncement of the word doesn't mean that the divorce has taken place. The second issue is divorcing your wife through text message. Modern means of technology. Last but not least is the concept of anger. Each 3 of these concepts needs a specific lesson in itself. Alhamdulillah, maybe 2 summers ago, we did an extensive series on divorce right here in this masjid. I'm not sure how many of you have listened to those CDs. Allah alam, how many are, Jamal? 80? 8? Just 8 times? No way. Impossible. Abadan. Bulugh al-Maram. For months we did it. No way. La. I age you, Sheikh. How many, Bilal? There's a lot, right? Much more than 8, maybe 80. No doubt. Those who were witness were witness. Those who were absent were what? Were absent, but Allah recorded it. Everyone understand this? Al-Muhim is the concept of divorce as a long discussion in itself. To keep things brief, to keep things short. The moment that a man who is of age and who is mentally sane and who is not coerced, the moment he says the word talaq, types talaq, you have talaq, I've divorced you, then the talaq is now in the real world. It is existed. Waqa. I was just joking. She's divorced. I was down. I was depressed. She's divorced. I was hurt. I was jealous. She's what? Divorced. As long as you weren't forced and coerced. Whether it's in person, on the phone, in a letter, an email, Skype, WhatsApp, Viber, Google Hangouts. Everybody understand this? You leave a message, you send a carrier pigeon. This is a reality. To make it extremely clear, why do you send a carrier pigeon? Right. And on the ankle of the bird is a message. You are divorced. Then the divorce what? Counts. As long as your person is of age, and the person is mentally sane, and the person is not coerced. Everybody clear on this? Even if you were joking. Khair inshallah. So that's the first 2 issues. As far as anger, then who divorces their wife when they're laughing and joking? Not too many people. Not too many men. There may be some situations where it says, well, I finally got you back. You're divorced. Take that. Get out of here. Perhaps. But most cases, there's an argument. There's a curse word. There's a wall being punched. There's a fight. There's a text message. You look through my phone. I told you don't touch my passcode. Everybody understand this? In most cases, divorce comes from a what? Anger. So just because you're angry does not mean that the divorce doesn't count. And that's what many people they use to play around with the religion. Now, if you're so angry, you're so infuriating with rage, you're incensed with this ghadab, you just black out. You become like Incredible Hulk with anger, and you don't realize what you say anymore, and you don't have control over your actions anymore. And that's a different story. That's a different story because your mental faculty is no longer there, and you're no longer sane in that moment. But that's something that doesn't happen to everybody. Everybody understand this? So if that's the type of anger that you feel, then the divorce doesn't count. As far as if it's just normal anger, you broke something, you threw something, you cursed, I told you, subhanAllah, I can't take this no more, you this, you that, then the divorce counts. Whether it's in person or in a what? Text message. The Prophet's advice is the most beautiful advice. La taghdab. He says, do not get angry. Don't get angry. Control your temper. Don't be a tough guy. Don't be an angry bird all of the time. Blowing steam out of your nose and pounding for what? Because when you become angry, your judgment is severely compromised. Clouded. Everybody understand this? You make rash decisions, poor decisions. And you say, what the heck did I just do? How did I say that? How did I do that? So you have to control your anger. Wallahu alam.
The guy from Australia, initials AK from Australia, Melbourne. What are your thoughts about the hadith book? Zad al-Talib as a beginner student of knowledge. Also, can you recommend any other beginner hadith books to start memorizing?
Question from Melbourne, Australia. Zad al-Talib. I'm unfamiliar with that book. I don't know about that book. I've never seen it. Maybe I've seen it. I didn't pay attention to it. I'm unfamiliar with that book, Zad al-Talib. As far as a book for beginners, the beginning disciple to memorize and to study, then alhamdulillah, we've explained this countless times. Countless times. Inshallah ta'ala, summarize Sahih Muslim, summarize Sahih Bukhari. If you have a good level, if you're on a smaller level, 40 Hadith of Nawawi, Umdat al-Ahkam, Bulugh al-Maram, books like this, bismillah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Small, simple, summarized books. Riyadh al-Salihin is a summarized book. Depending on the level of Arabic that you have, if you don't have no Arabic and you just speak in English, then there are many books. I would humbly suggest 40 Hadith on Seeking Knowledge, our manual. Wallahu alam.
This was you out from Ottawa, Canada, I believe. If a sister never used to make up the fast she missed due to the fact that she wasn't practicing, is she still required to make up those fasts even though she lost count?
This question says from Ottawa, Canada, a sister was not practicing Islam and many years went by without her fasting. She returns back to Allah. She wants to fast, does she have to make up the days? She doesn't know how many there are. But idhnillahi ta'ala, if there are a lot, don't worry about it. What's important is that you move forward. Don't even think about it. Just continue to move forward. And every time you get the thought or the doubt about how many days, how many years, how many months, I'm going to go to hell, I'm going to be punished, let that be the fuel and the steam and your locomotive of ibadah that pushes you to worship Allah and to focus upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And hopefully, inshallah ta'ala, it's not upon you, whereas that is an extreme hardship and it may be a means of you not making repentance. When the shaitan will come and say, you have 5 years to make up. What's the point of starting now? You're doomed. Class. Wallahu alam.
Initial JW from Washington, D.C., United States. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Should one become familiar with tafsir of Quran before they attempt fiqh, sharia, hadith memorization, etc.?
Question from Washington, D.C. Should one become familiar with the tafsir of the Quran before memorizing, studying fiqh, hadith, etc.? Yes and no. Every Muslim has to have some familiarity with the tafsir of the Quran. Every single Muslim. Every Muslim must know something about the Quran and the meanings of the Quran on one level or another. A scholar is not like the student of knowledge. Student of knowledge is not like the layman. The one who speaks Arabic and studies is not like one who speaks English. There's levels. And there are certain things that only Allah Azza wa Jal knows. Only Allah knows the true meaning, the true ta'weel, as Allah tells us in Surah Al-Imran. But every single Muslim has to know something about the Quran. Every Muslim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Basic things. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. What does that mean? The basics. Tawheed. Only Allah. We ask for help. We worship. Basic things. So this is something that comes before anything else, of course, in general. The basic things of what you're reading. The basic things we said. As far as the no part of the answer, then bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, if you're studying knowledge systematically, then study it systematically. If you're studying knowledge sporadically or in your free time, then pick up and study and sit with how you want to, whatever you feel comfortable with. You make your own priority. But if you're trying to study systematically, then bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, you learn the foundations and the basics, which we have explained and covered with Allah's hamd, and countless videos. And we literally mean that, countless. Because each and every video and talk or class is some type of philosophy of ilm. Wallahu a'lam. Question says, what are the repercussions for breeding? You ready? So what are the repercussions for breeding intentionally or breaking the fast intentionally in Ramadan? And what do you have, or what do you make up, and what do you do to make up for that day? It depends on how you broke your fast. If you broke your fast eating, that's one scenario. You broke your fast drinking, that's one scenario. You broke your fast having sexual intercourse, that's another scenario. You broke your fast making masturbation with ejaculation, that's another scenario. So it depends on how you broke your fast. The general rule is that breaking one's fast in Ramadan without an excuse is from the major sins. As the Prophet ﷺ has told us, that night when he saw those people being punished because they break their fast, he says, قَبْلَ تَحِلَّةٍ, he says, before it's permissible for them to break their fast. Khayr inshallah, that's in brief. It's from the major sins. Now, depending on what you did is going to determine whether you have to make an expiation or whether you just have to make up the day. Wallahu a'lam.
Initials HS from Ontario, Canada. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Is it permissible to trim the beard before it is a fistful?
Question from Ottawa says, is it permissible to trim the beard before it is a fistful? Do not trim your beard. Let the beard grow. If a person feels that they want to trim past the fist, then let it be past the fist. Beneath the fist, no, no, no. The Prophet ﷺ was the most beautiful man. No two Muslims are going to differ over that. No two Muslims are going to differ that Muhammad was the most handsome man. Muhammad's face was not a baby face. Muhammad's face was not a goatee. It was not a traditional mustache. Muhammad's face was not trimmed and delicately serviced. Muhammad's beard was long and full and bushy and thick. Alayhi salatu wassalam. Wallahu alam.
And this is MA from Toronto, Canada. Sheikh, I pray all is well. What is considered awra between women? Can a sister wear a sleeveless dress?
Question says, what is considered awra between women? To keep things in brief, or to keep things simple, bidnai ta'ala, we say that when women are among each other, they have two main concepts. The first concept is they're not in front of men. They're not on the street. They're not in front of the eyes of men that aren't their mahrams. So obviously the tone and the atmosphere, the environment is supposed to be naturally relaxed. Because we have to wear garments when it's hot outside for men. So when we are among ourselves, drinking tea, having a party, sitting down, then it's automatically supposed to be a relaxed and comfortable situation. That's a must. And if you don't have that mindset, you're going to have a major problem with your Islam. I have to wear a full garb in 90-degree weather with humidity every day, go to work with people staring at me, looking at me, making fun of me. And you expect me to do the same when I'm in my house with my girlfriend and my friend? That's a haraj that Allah Azza wa Jalla did not legislate. And any man who tries to legislate that, it may cause people to leave Islam. So that's the first concept. The second concept, to keep things brief, is that a Muslim woman, just like a Muslim man, is always to be shy, is always to be bashful, and is always to be relatively modest. So there's going to be a balance, a seesaw. Being comfortable, you're not in front of men, but at the same time not just wearing whatever you want to wear. A balance, a mix. Everybody understand this? So therefore, with regards to what is the awra of a woman, what do the people of knowledge say? Some of them, they say this. They say there's the awra which can be seen and exposed out of necessity. And if the garment slips or the dress is raised or the blouse is moved and they see this, then it's okay. But not intentionally. You can't intentionally show it and reveal it. Everybody understand this? And they say that which is between the navel and the knees of a woman. The navel and the knees of a woman. But they say that it does not mean that a woman can go topless, a woman can wear this shirt or these shorts in front of another woman intentionally. But if there is a need or necessity, then it's okay and it's not the actual awra, mughallala, the strict, severe awra. So therefore, to say that a woman cannot have on a sleeveless shirt in front of another woman, it's going to need some type of hardcore dalil. Some type of hardcore dalil. A statement of Aisha, of this companion, so on and so forth. Muhtamal. Muhtamal. Possible here and there. But the kitab and the sunnah, the clear-cut dalil, is going to be needed for you to determine what is and what isn't anyone's awra, a man or a woman. Everybody understand this? So therefore, bidnai ta'ala, if a woman is among sisters, and these sisters are pious and they are righteous, they're having an Eid party, and one sister has on a short sleeve dress, If she's among her sisters, her family members, and she has on a t-shirt and her arms, her shoulders are exposed, perhaps it's difficult to say that that's haram. If you feel doubtful, you want to avoid it, some of the people now say that a woman cannot have on sleeveless garments from other women, then that's the best thing to do. But to absolutely say that it is haram, that's something that needs strong dalil. Wallahu alam. Any other questions before we stop, brothers and sisters? Question says, what is the ruling for a woman going to a different country without a mahram to gain knowledge to memorize the Quran? Bidna ta'ala, try your best to get a mahram. Seek Allah's help and travel with a mahram. If you have to seek knowledge, if you have to study, if it's an obligation upon you and you don't have a mahram, put your trust in Allah and travel. That's in brief. A long story, a long discussion with regards to airplanes, with regards to time zones, with regards to how long, how far, the modern means of travel today, security. It's a very long scholarly discussion. Next question says, is it okay to gain beneficial knowledge from speakers like Norman Ali Khan, even though there have been many speculations about his talks? I believe we answered this question a couple weeks ago in this masjid on Mufti Q&A with regards to taking from speakers that have speculations, controversies, so on and so forth. I believe we answered the question a couple weeks ago in this masjid right here in front of this library. Please go to Mufti Q&A. There's detail. Some people you should, some people you shouldn't. Some people you can, some people you cannot. Wallahu alam. Question says, what is the ruling on having a female speaker? There's nothing wrong with a female speaker as long as she's doing what's correct with regards to her hijab, with regards to her shyness, with regards to her deen. There's nothing wrong with that, especially if she's in front of other women and other sisters. As far as being in front of other men, is the voice of a woman aura? Is she covered properly? Is she garbed up? Or is she wearing a colorful kimar and lipstick and foundation and this and that on her face? And that's a different story. But let's not forget, guys, last but not least, you live in 2017. You go to college, you have kuffar, women speaking to you. That's okay, that's permissible. But a Muslim sister, she gives a talk and a speech, that's haram. But you sit in front of a woman that has her hair, her neck, her breasts, everything out in front of you, teaching you a class. But a Muslim sister with a kimar and overgarment says, no, we can't do that. What type of hypocrisy is this? Wallahu alam. Tafaddal. Allah bless you.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allah.